The #1 killer of women, it's heart disease. The Go Red movement started in Omaha 10 years ago to help women understand their risks and symptoms and have some fun while they're at it. Lisa Carmichael will be featured at the upcoming Go Red for Women Expo. Also with us from Methodist Cardiovascular Service Line Nurse Practitioner Katie Triplett. Welcome back, Katie.
Thank you.
And Lisa, it's nice to meet you. So to be featured at this event, I've been to it a few times, and the stories are always compelling. So would you share yours with us this morning?
Sure. I had cardiomyopathy and I am now a heart recipient. I'm almost 3 years out, and in my family we had a genetic form of heart disease called the cardiomyopathy, and my sister is also a heart recipient. And unfortunately my mom passed away from this disease, and very fortunately my son also found out that he does not have the genetic mutation, so we're very happy to know that he's not going to need a transplant.
So was it research that allowed your son to have the testing that was needed to know?
Yes. After I was transplanted, they were able to conduct the research on my old heart to determine what the mutation was in our family, and then we were able to then find out what genes to look for, and so he was able to be tested, and my sister was also then able to be tested to make sure that we had the exact same mutation. And
it's remarkable.
Yeah, so we're very happy to know that he's not going to need one.
At the Expo then, what's your message is kind of specific. My family, I have a lot of heart disease in my family, but it's not the same as what you're talking about. So what's your general message going to be at the Expo?
Really, my message is more along the lines of advocacy, and in my case, I knew throughout my 20s that something wasn't right, but we were always told in our family that what my mom had, what my grandfather had, wasn't genetic. They just didn't think at that time that cardiomyopathy was a genetic disease, and so my sister and myself, we were both symptomatic, but they always said, oh, you're a young woman.
And your intuition told you.
Yeah, we just knew something wasn't right. We both had fatigue, we both had palpitations, we just had different things along the way. And then in my early 30s, finally one of the nurse practitioners said, okay, let me run an EKG. And she immediately called the cardiologist, and they immediately put me on medication. And at the time, my sister was 8 months pregnant. We didn't want to tell her because we didn't want to cause additional stress in her pregnancy. And the nurse practitioner at my clinic said, you have to tell her because it could be, it could just be detrimental to her pregnancy if she does test positive for this disease. And it turned out that she was positive. She had a very low ejection fraction, and she was transplanted 6 months after the pregnancy. 6 months after
birth. Katie, when we talk about the symptoms, she was saying she was noticing all of these things, and her intuition said something was wrong. What do you say to women compared to men if if their grandfather, for example, had a heart attack and they're looking for those same signs? It doesn't work that way, does it?
Not always. And so I think the most important thing is to know that it can look like your grandfather's stereotypical heart attack. It can manifest as crushing chest pain, jaw pain, radiating to that left arm, but often with women it's so different. It can be vague and non-specific. Indigestion, back pain, fatigue. Many of my patients actually will say that they didn't know anything was wrong. They just thought they had a really bad case of the flu.
Wow. So what do you say to women then at the Expo? You create this fun environment.
We do.
Make it easy for them to learn and digest the information. It's not this serious, heavy event.
Right.
Right. But you really want to get the word out about heart disease. Specifically, what can women do to prevent an event?
Exactly. So the Expo, we will start at 4:30 with our breakout stations, kind of our educational pieces. And so we'll talk about a lot of the different health problems facing women. Methodist will be there to talk about menopause, nutrition, healthy habits, all kinds of really just health issues and how to maximize your health as a woman.
Because in some cases you can prevent?
You can,
heart
yes.
attacks?
Up to 80% of cardiovascular disease is actually preventable, so 20% genetic.
So Lisa, in your case, you had what you had because your genes were what they were, right?
It's just luck of the draw.
But I think about me and my case with my family, it is lifestyle, a good bit of it, and once you have cared for someone who's had a heart attack or they're at risk, it changes you, and you want to do what you can to prevent that for yourself and then have a little bit of fun while you're doing it. This event is huge. You just sort of walk into the ballroom and everybody's in red, except for the first timers who don't realize they're supposed to wear red, and it's so funny because they're walking around just embarrassed as can be. Wear red if you're going on November 3rd. I'll be there 4:30 to 8:30 at Embassy Suites La Vista. You're welcome to learn more online at omahagoredforwomen.org. But I'll tell you this, at the KMTV booth in the ballroom, we'll be joined by the professionals of Gloss Salon, and they're doing some red lipstick. So how do you know which shade of red lipstick works best for you? That's what we're going to have at our booth, but you're going to find people doing massages and all kinds of stuff around this huge room. It's a beautiful night, and we hope you'll be there. We'll see both of you there on the 3rd, okay? Thank you, and thank you for sharing your story today. We appreciate it.